Hi guys, it's Dave again. Welcome back to Golf with a Purpose. Today I'd like to go over a few things to help with your mobility, a few stretches that will help you with your mobility in your swing. Now I'd like to preface this video by saying that I'm not a physical therapist. I am definitely not a golf pro. But I was just going to tell you guys some stretches and things that I use in your golf swing that will actually help you gain mobility. Things that I use learning, trying to get that good inside the out path swing that help my body get a little more flexibility in my hips, shoulders, my knees, everything you need for that golf swing. One of the first things, guys, I'd like to talk about is your grip pressure. Not which grip you use, not your strong grip, weak grip, or neutral grip that are your golf pros can tell you about all the different grips and what work for you. But we want to go about the grip pressure. When you're holding a grip, if you had to use a scale for your grip, like between 1 and 10, you want to really grip about a 3. I use about a 3 or a 4. It's probably still a little too tight as you're gripping the club, because in your backswing, you don't want a lot of tension in those hands. When you squeeze that club with a death grip, it causes tension through your wrist, through your forearms, up through your arms, into your chest, down through your core, into your hips and legs, and all that tension does is stop your mobility. When you're squeezing real hard and you try to make that turn, you don't get a very good back swing at all. You lose a lot of turn in your hips, a lot of mobility in your rotation is gone from that squeezing too tight. But if you loosen that grip, guys, loosen it up, get you a 2 to 4, just loosen it up real good, and as you go to your backswing, you gain a lot of rotation, just from having a looser grip, not trying to kill that club. And your body automatically, as you approach the ball, it's going to hold that club with a tighter tension as you come through to be able to hold on to the club. It's just going to do it automatically. All right, guys, we went over the tension of the grip. We know we don't want it to be too tight. Now we're going to go over some of the different stretches that I use. I do this, guys, at the range when I go out to hit a bucket of balls before a round, or just do them at home just to stretch. A lot of times, if I'm not going to hit a bucket of balls before I go out to play a round, usually I'm just playing 9 holes lately. The reason you're getting this video today from my yard is I have pulled a muscle, and I can't really, I've been putting practice, chipping practice, I can do that, but I can't do a full swing right now. Pulled a muscle at work. You know, blue collar guys, we work 5-6 days a week, guys, so you have to be a little easy. We can't go to the golf course and injure ourselves anymore. So going back to the stretches, guys, we have a few stretches. One I like to do to loosen my wrist up is I'll take any club, got a 7-iron here, I'll take any club, hold it out in front of me, and just go forward with the club, back over my left shoulder, back forward with the club, over my right shoulder. And I like to do this usually 10 to 12 times just to start. I try to hold my arms straight out and just do this technique just to loosen my wrist back and forth. And you guys with mobility issues know that it's not just in your hips, not just in your shoulders. It goes through your wrists, your knees, your ankles. Anybody with Forrester's disease like I know knows that it affects all your different joints as time goes by. Now another wrist stretch I like to do is to go right and back to the left. And I usually do this with my golf grip. Now I don't do it with my strong grip that I use. I use a strong grip, guys, because I'm real accessible to slicing the ball, and that strong grip actually helps with that. But I do this back and forth 10 or 12 times, and I usually do about 3 sets of this. I usually do this if I'm going to play around, guys. I'll go out and I'll in my backyard and I'll just grab a club, usually a 7-iron, 6-iron, 8-iron, just anything with a little weight to that head, nothing too major, and just do these stretches back and forth. And I usually do 3 sets of each exercise that I've shown you. Now, another thing that I would like to do, I got this from the Golf Pros, guys. They do this. They'll take a club, and this is to, a couple reasons people do this, is to be able to separate the hips from the upper body, but also just to get people to turn their shoulders towards the ball. If there was a ball in front of me, what I'll do here is get into my athletic stance and turn my right shoulder, aim this club towards the ball. And I will hold this position for myself because this stretch stretches down through my hamstring, up through the glute, into the lower back, and into the hip. I do this just at home, just to gain mobility. And then I do the other side. Now I will do this usually in slow stature like this. And I will do this 10, 12 times, and usually do 3 sets of this also. This also helps just stretch my hips, gets me loosened up before I go out to play golf. And guys, as you know, as you get older, you need to have that mobility for your golf game. Guys, another stretch to do, and this is another one that you would like to do to learn how to separate your hip rotation from your shoulder rotation. And for someone like me, it's extremely hard to do because of my condition. My spine is actually fused. It's one long bone now. There's no individual, so it's tough for me. But one of the things that I like to use is in the house, I'll use a doorway or anything. But if I'm out at the range and I'm getting ready to play, I'll grab my golf bag and just hold my clubs like this. And what you want to try to do here is to keep your upper body stable and move your hips. People with a lot more mobility have a lot more hip engagement than I do. So I have to actually work at this and get the rhythm. Some people may have the hip rotation, they just don't have the rhythm. I'm a little bit of both. I'm trying to pretend I'm Elvis over here, guys. I got to get those hips working. But anytime before I go to play around, I try to do a lot of these different stretches to get myself really loosened up. And I'll tell you guys, as you get older, the more stretching you do, even if you do not have mobility issues, doing these stretches can really help stop injury on the golf course or just in any other sport. And anybody knows that's played baseball and football, the coaches, the first thing they do before practices, they do stretching. Before they do anything, everybody stretches out. Most coaches, after practice, they do stretching. When I was in the military, we stretched before everything and stretched after everything. All right, guys, remember, do those stretches before going out and playing around. Do those stretches at home, even if you're not a golfer, guys. If you do yoga, you will never see me doing yoga on the channel, guys. I'm not saying I don't do yoga, but you won't be seeing me do yoga. But do those stretches, especially for you people with mobility issues, you seniors, you guys getting up there in age. If you're going to play around the golf, do the stretches that you've learned. I'll be showing some more stretches on the channel. Remember the wrist stretch. That's a very good one. That's usually, if I have an injury on the golf course, it's normally because I have chunked a ball and hurt my wrist. Those are very common for people with a bad swing. I'm probably one of those guys right now. But guys, I'm wanting to get back out on the course. We've had some issues lately, a little bad weather. We're actually getting some good weather now. Like I said before, I have a pulled muscle, a little bit of an injury. I don't want to make it any worse. It's killing me not to be on the course today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, or at least at the driving range. But coming up soon, we're going to have some a little bit of video for you guys. I want to go out and we're gonna play a 9-hole match just to get back into the rhythm of things. But we're wanting to get back into a Break 90 series. Back when I played over 10 years ago, I'd actually got into the 80s, and I was real happy being within the 80s, but I was still not happy with my swing. But for the last few months, I've really been working on my swing. I need to get to the range and practice that swing, but got to get that pulled muscle better. But we're going to be doing a Break 90 series, and then hopefully within a year, we'll be doing a Break 80 series, maybe even sooner. You know, one of my bucket list goals is to actually shoot par one day The courses around here are not too hard. They're not too easy. But we have some decent courses here around Birmingham, Alabama. And we have some real tough courses, but some of my local courses, they're not too bad. And any decent golfer, just playing smart. You don't even have to be able to hit a drive. You can hit a drive 175, 200 yards, guys. Playing smart golf, you could actually get out here and break 80, not a problem. Just got to keep those swings going. Hey guys, remember, earlier in the video I was talking about I had this pulled muscle, and I still want to get out on that course. You know, I'm dying to get out on the course. But a couple of things: if you're injured with a pulled muscle, there's still a few things you can do to improve your golf game, guys. Chipping. You guys can be practicing chipping. Chipping does not hurt these pulled muscles that I have. So I've been out practicing chipping, just trying to get that little swing I keep in my bag. I have a 45-degree pitching wedge. I use a 60-degree, I have a 56-degree, and I have a 50-degree. Been thinking about going to having a 54 in there. That'll be down the road. But remember, guys, you can still improve your game with less mobility. And if you're injured, you can practice that chipping and putting. You can take off many strokes off your game, guys, with just chipping and putting. Chipping and putting. I went and played around about a month ago before I was injured, and it was the first round in 10 years, and I actually still shot in the 90s. Still shot in the 90s with a freaking over the top swing. Still shot it in the 90s. I made 6 pars. We won't go into the hole that I actually drove the green on a par 5 in 2 strokes and 3-putted. The only 3-putt of the day. I would rather slice one, guys, into the woods and beyond, just into the universe, than to 3-putt. To me, 3-putting for me is the worst thing in the world to do. I would rather just lose the ball out of bounds than to 3-putt anything. But that day I made 5 pars with 1 putt. Took me 3 to get on the green, and I was lucky enough to sink a couple 12-footers. Had a couple that I chipped pretty close because I've been really practicing my chipping. Before I quit golf over 10 years ago, that was probably the worst part of my game, was chipping. Now it's becoming one of the best. If you guys ever want to watch some good guys, a good short game, try Wesley Bryan at Bryan Brothers Golf. He's a tour pro, but he has a YouTube channel, him and his brother George. And I watch those guys a lot. They actually helped inspire me to get back into golf, watching these YouTube golfers. Those guys, Grant Horvat, watching Good, the DOD King. These guys are, they do have some instructional videos, but really I just watch these guys for their content, the way they banter on the course. Just love how they go back and forth with each other. It's very entertaining. I probably watch more YouTube golf than I do anything. But I do watch a lot of instructional videos. Now, some guys on YouTube will say, do not watch these instructional videos. They'll say, you know, go to your local pro, and I agree with that. If you can afford to, and if you have the time, and you're wanting to get better, going and getting face-to-face instruction from a pro is probably the best thing. But if you're like me, guys, you work 6 days a week and you just want to get on the course, but you have time in the evenings to watch YouTube videos. Now you have to be careful. I watch a lot of these guys, and if I watch 20 different pros on the YouTube and they're all saying the same thing, I usually follow that. But there's always one guy that goes against the other guys. But I usually try to go with the majority on grip, on my swing, just anything. But remember, guys, get out there, practice your chipping, practice your putting, especially you men with mobility issues, and you ladies too. If you have mobility issues, if you can get that short game better, you can improve your golf game. Guys, thank you again for watching Golf with a Purpose. Have a great day. Guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We're out here helping others. Thanks again for watching Golf with a Purpose.